Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bar TV Sports coverage of the Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. James Preston in commentary with you alongside Dave Wild. Dave, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. And again, it's good to be here. Wonderful, not so much weather-wise, but football-wise, but a terrific day so far. 2 games down, 4 to go. 4 to go
indeed. It's a big day. And of course, we do have another big match here between the Solomon Islands and Hong Kong. Now, just quickly running through these two sides' previous results. The Solomon Islands, they've played one match so far, a 22-30 loss to Turkey. And Hong Kong, well, they were humbled against Poland, 62 points to 6 on Thursday. Quickly running through the team list for you as well. I'll take you through Solomon Islands and then we'll get Dave to run through the Hong Kong side. For the Solomon Islands, at the back in number 1, Singamoa. The 2 is Momoa. The centres, Tongaka and Angi Kamua. The other winger is Moiaui. In the halves, it's Taupongi and Sanga. The number 8 and the number 10, your props, Maibata and Manua. The hooker is Tengamona, and the back row, Rex Horoi, Soa Matangi and Tongaka. The bench is Kengalu, Ramo, Scott and Angi Katani. And we'll give you Hong Kong's list in just a moment's time, but they have kicked off. They're wearing the blue and red Solomon Islands in that very pretty strip there, almost looking like a bunch of lorikeets. It's a beautiful field here to play on once again. This is AstroTurf, and we've got an early penalty going to the Solomon Islands. McMurray, she's in there straight away. Of course, Dave, he was sin-binned and sent off on the Thursday, and he's looking pretty aggressive once again.
Well, yeah, I was surprised to see him on the team list, but there he is, mullet and all. Ready to go. Also surprised to see Matthew Waugh playing at fullback again. Of course, limped off towards the end of that game with what looked like a fairly serious injury. But 3 days later, he's backing up again.
Well, his arm was pretty much in a sling when he was coming off the field, wasn't he? He was clutching the wrist, hung by his side. He wasn't looking too good at all. But here's the Solomon Islands trying to get under a restart here. And it looks like once again, Dave, we've got a bit of a pedantic referee here. We had that on Thursday as well.
Well, we did. They are a law unto their own, the referees. God love them.
And here come the Solomon Islands. They'll go through their number 10. That's Manua, getting up to the halfway line. Plenty of pressure in the play the ball. They come away to the 13. That's Tongaka. Darwin Tongaka caught about 5 metres into opposition territory. They've got numbers back to the middle of the field. They'll use one of their centres for a hit-up. It's Tongaka to Tongaka. 2 hit-ups in a row. He's caught 40 out.
Nice contact by McMurray there too.
McMurray, we know he's a very strong defender. He is a big body for a hooker as they come back to the centre of the field. They'll find Rex Horoi. He was looking for an offload, but none forthcoming. Caught around about 5 metres short of the 30-metre line. They'll come to the left-hand side. Pass slightly behind Sunga, but he went to the left-hand side. Almost a bit of space here. In fact, he'll keep going. Good run in the end, and that should be the last tackle. Bit of extra pressure in the play the ball. Very close to being a penalty. In fact, they might have one more up their sleeves here. I'll go back to the middle.
I think that's tackles.
And it was the last, so that's a strange play to finish, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they knew. I'm not sure how they didn't know because he made it fairly clear, the referee. But in any case, perhaps that signals their intention to run the ball. It's a difficult day in terms of kicking with the wind, swirling breeze. I made comment about that in the last game. I had a pretty significant impact on the kicks in that game, so I expect the same thing to happen here.
Well, fortunately, the rain has stopped as well. The wind is still certainly blowing around, but it was very, very wet when I first arrived here about 20-30 minutes ago. But at the moment, it is reasonably good in terms of being able to gather that possession in. There is Spence offering it away to Lee Griffiths, who's getting a start in the number 20 jersey. They've just got into a decent field position here. That's Waugh. Of course, we thought he might not be playing. Looked like a second attempt. In fact, a third one you can now put it down to. They're still all over Waugh. Spence waiting to up. They still haven't cleared, and that was always going to be a penalty, wasn't it, Dave?
Well, they got it on about the fifth attempt. But anyway, Waugh's taking the quick tap. He's off.
And he's away. Gets out of a couple of tackles. Still going Waugh. He's a hard man to put down. Caught 35 metres out. They've got numbers both sides of the play the ball. McMurray goes toward the right-hand side. Comes away to Mouklier. He's smashed after he gets the pass away, but there's a bit of space here to move. Stepping off the right a couple of times. Back toward the centre of the field, 15 metres out. Sang's calling for it on this left-hand side. They're all fanned out that way. This is a good start from Hong Kong. They look energetic. McMurray tries to go straight up the guts, and he obviously found a couple of offside markers. It's a good play for McMurray.
Yeah, smart play there. He saw an offside player from the opposition and ran straight into him. Made it probably look a little bit more difficult than what it was, but certainly milked it.
He's got the whole cow off the back of it, though. They do get the penalty. Here's Toby Lay pushing forward. He's caught just short of the line. McMurray will have a little scoot himself. And they'll just get underneath him and push him back up. keep him in the field of play as well. So Solomon Islands holding firm. They'll go again. I think he might have got there on this occasion.
Well,
in fact,
double
movement apparently.
Yeah, it looked for all money as though he'd scored from, albeit not the greatest vantage point.
Well, I'm not sure I actually saw the arm lift, but referee was right on top of it, so we'll back his judgment for that one.
Yep, absolutely.
They'll get a nice little way to get out of trouble here, the Solomon Islands, although I'm not sure why they're all rushing up to this mark. You'd imagine it'd be where the infringement was, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Unless they'll take the tap. They've decided not to kick for touch, so we're yet to see a kick in this game so far, probably about 5 minutes in. You have to bear with us with the time here as well. We only have a rough guide, of course. There is no scoreboard at this ground. It's a beautiful ground, though. Brand new. It's only been opened a month or two ago. The court here, the Solomon Islands, 15 metres out. McMurray once again in there. Come back to the centre of the field. It's a nice little hit up. Good amount of pace behind the run. Well handled in the end, though, over the top. It was Johnson that got the tackle. They'll come to the right-hand side of the field, find a bit of space as well. So Matungi's away. He's got support. Tries to barge over the top of Wall, but it's a good tackle from the fullback.
Yeah, really needed to look to his right there. Had an unmarked man. I think he had one on the inside as well.
They're still spread as well. They'll come to the left-hand side. Nice cut-out pass just slightly behind. That'll be play on, though. And it's picked up in the end by Ungu Mkuimao. And he keeps going. He's about 35 metres out from the opposition line. Numbers back in the centre. They'll go to Sunga. There's our first kick of the match. It's not a bad one. Crossfield, but Sanga's underneath it. And he can potentially find some space, but the referee's brought it back here.
I'm not sure what's happened there either.
Well, apparently they've miscounted the actual tackle count there.
That would explain
It'll be the last tackle, but there was no ruling from the referee until about halfway through that play, Dave.
No, it certainly went a long way unchecked, but in any case, I think it was the right result. See, Hong Kong will play it 35 out from their own line. Tackle one. I think they're much more in a game today, which is probably commensurate to their ability. They were a little outclassed the other day, but the opening probably 7 or 8 minutes of this game suggests that they'll be in this one.
There is McMurray. Now come away to this left-hand edge. They've looked good to start with, Dave. I think you're right about that. Here is War, pushing out a dummy half. He's always busy looking for work, the fullback. He's got a real good physical presence every time he takes a hit up. McMurray, out of dummy half. Here's Spence. The little halfback is only 60 kilos wringing wet, and we know exactly how much he does weigh when he's wringing wet because it has been raining all week. And they're caught 40 metres out here. A lot of Solomon Islands players offside to start with, but they just retreat in time. Here's a nice little scoot out of dummy half. Be caught around about 25 metres out. That'll be the last tackle here. McMurray out of dummy half. Very, very poor pass. Spence then drops it. It was an absolute shambles, but Solomon Islands will pick it up, play on. Sunga tries to get a freakish offload away. He somehow does. What about that, Dave?
Well, it was a great offload, risky albeit. They've drawn themselves a penalty now, so it's paid off. Probably a little bit unlucky there, McMurray, a moment ago. There was a Solomon Islands player just hanging around in the ruck, delayed his pass, and just enough.
Potentially he's been watching a bit of NRL, and we've seen a crackdown in the final series where if they were purposely passing it into a player that wouldn't move out of the play the ball area, they would penalise the attacking side. But potentially could have been a bit concerned about that, Dave.
Well, I'm sure he was, and knowing McMurray as I do, in the 1 and a bit games I've seen him, I think if he had an opportunity to take an advantage, he would have.
He absolutely would. That's a good shot there as well, and it gives him a bit of what's for after it too. Good to see a bit of feeling in this one. There's plenty of passion on display. It's a big likely customer on this right-hand edge is Daniel Soa Matungi. Made a break earlier and he was looking to find another gap on this occasion. This is Tengamara waiting at dummy half, and he'll find his 5'8", Taupongi. He goes over the 40-metre line. McMurray underneath with the tackle. Just goes behind Tengamara. He comes back to the middle, and that'll be a knock-on in the play the ball itself. Not a bad start from either of these sides, though, so far, Dave. We've seen
it's been good, a
bit of enterprising play, really.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. We saw a lot of it in the last game. Conditions haven't hampered them thus far.
And Just having a quick little chat here with one of our players from Hong Kong himself. Jake, how you doing? Fantastic for you to come onto the program.
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for having us.
Mate, it's obviously an awesome tournament. You guys you're fitting up here for your second performance of the tournament so far. How do you rate your chances against the Solomon Islands?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. The Solomon Islands very physical, hard running backs, and they've got some good running forwards. But we've done a bit of work since Poland, and we will think we'll be competitive.
Well, you've made a very good start in this game so far. What's the tactic you're trying to employ? Obviously, without giving too much away to the Solomon Islands if they're listening in from home.
Sure. I think the big thing for us is just completing our sets and trying to make sure that when we do have a chance to attack, we try and score.
Beautiful stuff. Now, what do you personally hope to get from this tournament yourself? Obviously, you're one of the emerging nations here, a couple of players that have got a bit of NRL experience, a bit of New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup experience. What do you want to take away from the tournament?
So the big thing for us is just making sure we give as many guys experience playing international footy, and that way it encourages more players back in Hong Kong to come and play as well.
Now, are you one of the domestic players from Hong Kong, or are you here in Australia?
I'm one of the domestic players, mate.
Mate,
yes.
Beautiful stuff. So
Yes.
you've made the trip back to Australia for this one?
Yeah, no, there's about 2/3 of the squad have come from Hong Kong, a few of the boys based here, and then a few boys from New Zealand too, so it's been a good mix.
Awesome stuff. Well, Jake, thank you very much.
Awesome, thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. We're back live with the action here. Solomon Islands. They'll feed the scrum and come away through Sanger. They've got a bit of running here out to the left-hand edge. It's not a bad pass. He's done very well to pull it in the end. Just above him. Had a bit of a jump. And somehow gathered it in, and then he's got into touch. So everything is happening here at once, Dave.
Yeah, well, he put the mock on his own team there. He said a moment ago that they just needed to complete their sets, and right on cue, the ball was fed from the scrum past to Matt Moore, who dropped it. But Solomon Islands now regained possession of the ball, and they've got a penalty, so they're on the attack. First real attacking opportunity they've had.
So I'll start this set from in very good field position, and they'll do it. Do a bit of a hit up through Maibata, number 8. Pushing forward, getting very close to that try line for Hong Kong, and they'll give away another penalty here. So Solomon Islands, they potentially had the chance to go for the shot at goal and start this match from in front, but based on what we've seen so far, it's quite likely that they'll just tap and go here. Looks to be exactly what they'll do. James Preston in commentary with you for Bar TV Sports alongside Dave Wall from the Country Rugby League. They'll take that tap and go here, Solomon Islands. They might have found a bit of a gap too. I think they have indeed gone over. There's a couple of very upset Hong Kong players on the ground. They have to back him in. And I think they have awarded it, Dave.
Yeah, they have. Obviously very difficult to tell from here. Benefit of the doubt goes to the referee, and first points.
We were 100% right. We've got a massive pole directly in front of our line of vision where that try is scored. We'll have a look at the replay here. It was simply from a quick tap, cutting back inside. I think it might have been the number 3 in the end. So it's Lavenstar Tongaka who's gone over.
Yeah, and you're right, it was Matt Moore who fell off him at the end, but it would have been very difficult to hold a player of that size back from that point.
Well, he's very reminiscent of Solomon Okada, isn't he? He's sort of low to the ground, got a lot of pace, and very quick dart once he gets going.
Yeah, it's probably a good description of him, actually.
Now just line up this kick, taking it roughly 25-30 metres back, and about 10 metres in from the left-hand touchline. So 4 points to nil. The Solomon Islands leading here for this Pool C group match of the Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. And that wind is still swirling around. I'm not sure if we can see it on our screens at the moment, but in the background you can certainly see some of those reeds there. They're going absolutely nuts, and that is a good indication of how windy it is out here.
And and you use the word swirling. It has been. It seems to be coming from the south at the moment, but there were certainly portions of the last game where it was clearly coming from the north. So it'll be interesting to see whether it has any impact on this kick. We'll see in about 5 seconds.
Struck it reasonably well, but it will go across the face of goal, and I think that is the way the wind is blowing at the moment, Dave. So it's pushed it across.
Yeah, and that southerly probably just took that one away, and as I said, it certainly swirled. There was periods in the second half of the last game where we had a flag on the other side of the field, which was clearly changing direction at various points to go.
So conversion unsuccessful from the Solomon Islands. The score will remain 4 points to nil here. We'll try and get a time check for you as well. As I mentioned before, we don't have a scoreboard in front of us. We certainly do have an obstructive view of some of these pillars, but fantastic venue nonetheless. Beautiful field. It's brand new as well, so all to look forward here on Bar TV Sports. Solomon Islands working away from their own line here. It's a nice little introduction to the game for the winger there, Moe Ao. He got just over the 30-metre line. They'll take another little scoot from dummy half here. It'll be the try scorer, Tongaka, who comes in for a bit of work. He's caught 43 metres out. Bit of extra pressure over the top from Rogers. They'll come to the middle of the field. Sunga, he's got that beautiful right to left passing game, and he's found a bit of space here. Room to move once again. Great little offload as well off the back from Angie Kumoa, and they're still going. They've got numbers here. War puts on a bit of a shot, but he'll bounce out of it and go another 10 metres. It's good play from the Solomon Islands, putting lots of pressure on Hong Kong. It's a slow play the ball though, so that nullifies a bit of the advantage, and then they've dropped it.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a disappointing end of the set. It was a very good set from the Solomon Islands, and they're starting to assert some dominance in this game.
It's just those big second rowers they've got running on the edges. They're finding a bit of space there in the form of Soa Matangi and Rex Horroy, and on that occasion it was Horroy who just found a little bit of space. And they've got a bunch of players pushing up in support too, Dave.
Yeah, and you're right. The right to left pass of the half Sanga is really causing Hong Kong some difficulties. We saw it the other day that, with all due respect to Spence, who tried his hardest and all 60 kilos of him, there was just a couple of portions of the game as Hong Kong were away.
It's a decent effort here. Stepped inside, drew in a couple of plays, and then found Sang. And he was looking for a passage down the right-hand touchline. Oh, and nearly dropping it, but did very well in the end to hold on to that. I can't believe he still kept it underneath all the pressure as well.
Yeah, he did well. Some nice contact in that tackle.
Good catch as McMurrich goes for a scoot out of dummy half and picks up around about 15 to 20 metres. That's a smart little run. They've got the running of the play at the moment, Hong Kong. They want to keep this going. Spence with a beautiful long cutout pass, finding War. That's exactly who you want to get it to. They've got numbers if they can get it wide. That looked to be 4, but they'll say play on. It's picked up here from the number 11. That's Schvetz. Schvetz is pushed toward the touchline, but he'll stay in the field of play. Sang at a dummy half, and they'll knock it on in the act of playing the ball.
Well, there's justice there. That pass was about 3 metres forward, right in front of us.
No, right. It's literally exactly where we are, David. I think you're right as well. That was probably 3 metres. Could have even been 4. I reckon it was very, very forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the touch judge didn't pick that up, or perhaps it was deflected that we didn't see. But in any case, same result.
Now, just having a look at the makeup of the Solomon Islands side here as well, I think it may have actually been Ungi Kamua who went in for the try. He has been positioned out on that left-hand edge to centre ever since. And it wasn't directly from a scrum play, so I'm quite sure, Dave, it might have actually been Angi Kamua that's gone through.
Yeah,
of course, our view was obstructed.
I think you might be right, as they're putting on a set play from the scrum.
Nearly dropped it. Just reined the hands back in was Soa Matangi. He's looked really good to start this match. Tengamora goes back toward the middle. There is one of those centres. Both of them are very damaging, though. It's Tongaka pushing forward. He'll be caught 40 metres out. Tengamora, one in dummy half. He goes to the left-hand side through one of their big boppers. Nice little interchange of passing. They found the second rower. It was Rex Horroy. Well, every time they've gone down there, they've either made a break or threatened to make one. Here's Sunga, stepping off the right, showing a good bit of pace too. He got out of 2 more tackles. He'll be caught 30 metres away from the opposition try line. There's plenty of pressure on him. He was trying to play the ball. Certainly testing the referee's patience. Comes out here to Soa Matangi. Matangi is caught. That'll be the last tackle. 25 metres out. Will they send it up to the sky and let that wind do the rest of the work? Extremely slow play the ball on this occasion. Tengamora goes back to the middle of the field. Sunga's there. He'll put up a kick. You can see it just swirling a little bit. Not too bad, though, for War to take. And he's done very well, I think. In fact, he's dropped it in the end. They'll say play on. Now there's a drop from the Solomon Islands. The ball's kicked backwards. And there's a great deal of confusion here. Who's had the first knock on?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm going to assume that it was Hong Kong.
There's a couple of high fives coming from the Solomon Islands players, so it is looking that way. And I think, yes, the referee has ruled the initial infringement coming from the Hong Kong side. So once again, Dave, they'll be in really good field position here, and they could potentially put on another try-scoring play.
Yeah, and the 3-day turnaround looks like it hasn't helped Hong Kong. They look to be struggling a little bit. The 2 play the balls prior to that were extremely slow. It was Matt War both times who held them down, and I think he's probably identified his forwards are struggling a bit.
Here's Sunga having a run. One off from the scrum. He might go all the way through them and score. He does. Great stuff from the halfback. Timo Sunga gets across the try line. That was probably a very intentional play for him not to be feeding the ball on that occasion there,
yeah,
Dave.
I think so. I think they've identified the same thing as what Matt Ward is, and we spoke about it a moment ago. They're just struggling a little bit, Hong Kong. The try probably won't do them too much harm, because it will just a little break in play, give them a chance to regroup.
We've already seen that he's got fantastic turn of pace off the mark, Timo Sanger. So once he put the foot down, there was always going to be a bit of trouble for the Hong Kong defence, especially with, as you mentioned, Dave, some of that fatigue starting to set in, just backpedaling a little bit, not holding the line firm enough. I have this kick from right in front now. The wind really starting to pick up too. Can't see it directly on your screens, but in the background there's one of those big sponsorship sheets that is flying up and down on the fence here.
Yeah, it's very cold, very windy.
Do I need to give you a parka, Dave? You already look pretty warm in your get up here. You've got a nice little jacket on.
No,
But the shorts, I've got to question the shorts, mate. What's going on there?
Well, I'm from Newcastle, and it was quite pleasant when I left this morning. So
From the sunny beaches down here to the ponds near Kellyville. That conversion is successful. So that takes the score out to 10 points to nil. Solomon Islands over Hong Kong. It's James Preston here with you for Bar TV Sports alongside Dave Wall. Try and get a time check if possible from our producers in just a moment's time for that matter. And that conversion was successful from the 5'8" Taupongi, so that is his first successful goal. So we're roughly 20 minutes into this half, 20 to go. So at the halfway point, or the quarter point for the match in total, as it's kicked back off. That'll come down, a bit of a fumble from the man who's just got the goal, but then he tries to take them on down a short side. Sang was bumped off, and then it was little Gus Spence that came over the top and put on a good shot, and I think he's forced to drop here too. Well done to Gus Spence, I like that, Davey.
well, I thought he dropped it in the tackle, and then he went to stand up, dropped it again. But again, good defence by Hong Kong. This will be their first opportunity in decent attacking in the attacking zone. So let's see what they've got. They're going to march out to the right. I suspect that man, Matt Wall, whatever they do, he'll be instrumental in.
He's just talking to his troops in the background as well. He's suggesting that they tuck back under him. So might see a bit of a set play coming from Hong Kong. McMurrich is locking in at the back of the scrum. So you fancy Spence will feed it straight to him, and then we'll get a quick pass away from McMurrich. They're going to go short side play. Spence links up with the number 26 here. That's Johnson. It's a good tackle over the top from the man that dropped the ball previously. Owie. Here's Sang. Mike Sang rushing across field. Gives a nice little offload away, and then they straighten up. That's what they need to do. Attacking directly at this Solomon Islands line. McMurrich spots an offside marker and is at them again. He'll be caught 5 metres from the line. They've still got numbers on this left-hand side too. If they come this way, they have a big chance. Spence, dummied and then was smashed. Forced backwards from Tongaka. McMurrich pleading with the referee for a fast play the ball. Doesn't get it. That's a good shot stepping up on the 35, fresh onto the field. John Howarth. That'll be the last tackle, so it's gone very quickly this set. McMurrich nearly drops it, then puts a very average kick. I think that was just a frantic play to ensure that he didn't get the knock on there, Dave.
Yeah, he probably needed to put that one through the hands. They were a little short out there. They dropped it again here.
That's what they're pleading for, and the referee agrees with them. And McMurrich is screaming at his players, just settle down. Let's take it one play at a time. Try and get ourselves on the board. Not out of this yet, Hong Kong. Early days still. It's only 10-0. If they can get on to the try scorers list right here, they'll be in pretty good shape.
Well, this will be a good opportunity for them too. As we said, they haven't had a lot of ball down here. They didn't throw a lot at them in that set. Spence came out here and again bravely did it the other day too. Quite happy to take on the line, despite the significant size difference between he and his opponents.
All I can say is thank God he's got that headgear. I think that just adds maybe an extra 500 grams, which he certainly needs. McMurrich wins the scrum and brings it away to War. War drawing past. Great shot, though. What a hit put on Johnson. He was smashed in the tackle. They're still threatening here. War loses his footing. Beautiful pitch, the AstroTurf, but you can still slip up. Spence, that was a hospital pass. And 5 metres out. They'll let all the pressure off. It was building nicely for Hong Kong, but they just couldn't capitalise.
Yeah, they did, and I just commented a moment ago that he's not afraid to take the line on. I thought he had an opportunity there. There was a hole in front of him. chose to link up with one of his big front rowers, and the pass was okay, and he probably should have taken it. Wet conditions, that's going to happen sometimes.
So Solomon Islands bring it away from their own end now. Go for another hit up. McMurray around the legs with a couple of other defenders there. He's a big popper, and they needed the support of Griffiths over the top as well. Tenkamura waits just short of the 40-metre line. Decoy runner, then out to Sanger. Good short ball to Suamatangi. Here we go, he's away once again. Support coming around the side. Great tackle from War though. Good cover defence on Suamatangi. They caught him 25 metres out. They'll keep going down this short side. Both of their centres have looked very dangerous, and they're going to use them once again here. Caught about 10 metres short. That'll be the last tackle though, so they've only got to hold out for one more here, Hong Kong. It's a very slow play the ball. McMurray, of course he's involved in it. They'll push it away. It's come to the number 10. Their prop puts in a kick. It's not a bad one in the end. It keeps dribbling along the ground. Wall picks it up, tries to get away, and I think he might be just caught inside the in-goal there. So a pretty good result in the end for the Solomon Islands, but certainly not the method they would have liked to get it.
No, it was a strange little attempt to pick that one up. But Suamatangi, that's twice he's made a break out here on that right edge, and Tangaka, the centre outside him, he must wonder what he's done to him, because that's twice he's left him unmarked now. Taken on the fullback by himself. Both times Wars has been up to the task, so I dare say there's probably 2 tries that have been bombed down on this right edge.
Well, he's got a tremendous frame. Suamatangi is a big likely customer every time he touches the ball. Here's Lavenstar Tongaka. Speaking of fantastic names, of course, Hong Kong also has Ringo Lung, but I like the sound of Lavenstar Tongaka, Dave. Now work it away from the wing now.
Can't go past Ringo.
It's Moeo. We'll see if he can get onto the field. He is, of course, captaining the Hong Kong side, but starting from the bench today. That's a poor pass. Bounces up for Sunga, though. Beautiful right to left pass once again. Linking up with his fullback, Singamoa. And they've still got a bit of space here along the sideline. He dives for the corner, and I think he has got there as well. So that could be Solomon Islands' third try. Referee points to the spot. And it's Momoa who's gone in. Stephen Momoa.
Yeah, nice play from the Solomon Islands side. They've had a little bit of possession in the last couple of minutes, and they've made the most of it there. That was just a textbook backline play, and unfortunately the Hong Kong side probably there's no reason for them not to have the numbers there, but they didn't. Just caught a little short on that far left edge.
It was well worked in the end because, as you mentioned, there wasn't exactly a defensive deficiency or anything going on. There wasn't necessarily numbers that were missing. But they just worked the line really nicely.
Yeah, they did, but as I said, it was probably a situation that Hong Kong should have been able to defend, but they weren't.
Put a fresh man onto the field now as well for the Solomon Islands. Jefferson Scott wearing the number 16 jersey. He's just popped on. And they finally got a ball to take this attempted goal for the conversion. 14 points to nil.
Yeah, it'll be a difficult conversion.
And we'll just also give you a bit of a time update as well for how much is left in the half. And we've got 6 minutes left in the half, I think.
No, I think our producer's saying 15.
15 minutes, 15 minutes. Not very good at reading fingers over here, and we don't have a scoreboard. Nonetheless, the score is 14 points to nil. Kick to come, so if he kicks this, it'll be 16-0 with 16 to go in this first half. In Hong Kong, they've had their chances, Dave. They just haven't been able to capitalise and actually finish it.
Yeah, they have.
And here we go. Now we've got a scoreboard. I love this. This is good stuff. Brilliant from Paul. Thank you very much to one of our producers here. Of course, this coverage is being brought to you by Bar TV Sports. Make sure to give them a like on the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, and you can keep up to date with all the matches here in the Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. I'll line this one in from pretty close to the touchline. Stays quite low, trying to not get the drift of the wind in that one. Falls short underneath the post, so the score will remain 14 points to nil. Hong Kong to get us back underway yet again here. And Dave, where do you see the points coming for Hong Kong?
Well, it's difficult to see them. The times that they have had the ball down in the Solomon Islands defensive area, then they haven't looked overly threatening. There was a couple of opportunities, but they just took the wrong option. So obviously Spence, being the halfback, has got to take control, and our man Ringo when he comes on. We haven't seen him as yet.
Richard Lindsay gets us back underway. It's fielded by the Solomon Islands, and Tongaka comes back toward the 30-metre line. McMurrich over the top along with Johnson. And nearly going for a bit of a short scoot close to the sideline, but thought better of it. And he's caught just short of the 40-metre line. Another scoot from dummy half here. This is Tongaka, so they've got 2 Tongakas in this starting lineup. 15 is fresh onto the field now, Francis Ramo. He gets it away to Sunga. There comes that right to left pass once again, over the top. Now try and bump him off, gets the offload away to Rex Horoi. And Horoi coming through now. As the rain returns to the ponds here. Live from Kellyville Ridge in the ponds. Bar TV Sports give you exclusive coverage. The Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. And there is a penalty going to the Solomon Islands.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was tackle 5. But they've done okay, Hong Kong there, to hold on. Referee's just blowing time off here. I think he's going to talk.
Is it McMurrich again? And has he been sin bit?
I'm fairly sure he put his hand up for 10 in the bin.
He's heading towards the sideline. I think no, he's being checked on by the trainer here at the moment. It's potentially a blood bin. They're just putting a bit of water on his forehead, so I think it might be a blood bin, Dave.
Well, he does love the drama, McMurrich. You never really know what he's up to. So
I feel he's like one of those characters from Ozark or House of Cards or potentially Breaking Bad. He's always into some sort of mischief.
Geez, you're asking me questions I can't answer now. I don't watch those series. Breaking Bad, but not the other two. Got my measure there.
I'm certainly not suggesting he's involved in illegal activity, just something a little bit shady when he gets onto the football field, McMurrich. They'll take the tap, and they'll go straight ahead here. It's Moisten Manua. He pushes forward, 35 metres out. The posts are wobbling in the background. The wind has really picked up here. There's another fresh man onto the field. It's Angie Katani in the 17. He's caught 30 metres out. Ramo waits a dummy half. Gives it away to Sunga. Sunga, that nice long cutout pass once again. Surely that was knocked on into a Hong Kong player. And yes, that is the way the referee will rule it.
Yeah, he's gone for the long cutout pass again. Sanger, but probably wasn't quite on that time. Just a little behind his runner.
I feel that's a trap a lot of halves can get into as well, Dave. If they've got that nice cutout ball that they can throw, they tend to try and throw it almost every time that they get the opportunity.
Well, he has thus far, and he looks much more comfortable right to left than what he does left to right. So I think we'll probably see him go that way over the course of the game. And in fairness to him, up until then, it's been quite effective.
Hong Kong win the scrum here. Now work it away just short of their own 40-metre line. There's a dummy and then a spin. Good defence over the top, though, from Sale Matangi. He's been super impressive in this match. McMurrich waving his hands wildly everywhere, but all they've got to do is play the ball. There's no point yelling and screaming at the referee if your own side can't keep possession, Dave.
Yeah, I just looked away then, but I didn't see to play the ball, but I did see McMurrich gesticulating quite violently almost immediately prior to that. And he's just got to settle down a little bit. We saw 3 days ago that he's want to lose his cool. He can't afford to do it at this point of the game, or any point of the game really, but with his side trailing 14-0, he needs to stay on the field.
He's a real character, McMurrich. He's certainly fun for us to watch here as Solomon Islands win the scrum. Sunga once again going for the long pass, the cutout ball. They'll link up, centre to fullback, and now there's a bit of space along the sideline. Can they go in again here? Sane comes across. He'll cut back on the inside. Caught 10 metres out. It's a nice little shift from the Solomon Islands, and they've got the defence in disarray. Which way will they go? In fact, they might just go for the barge over. Has he got there? I think they've just managed to get a man underneath him and stop him just short. So Solomon Islands, 2 tackles into this set. Once again, they go for a short little barge over play, but Hong Kong are equal to it. Now push him back. Now about 2 or 3 metres away from the line. Ramo gives it away to Sunga. He goes for a little grubber into the in goal, and that was probably not the play. It's still early in the set, Dave.
Yeah, that's a poor. It's a rush of blood, that one. Really a poor result. They're right on top of them at the moment.
And I'll go for a quick tap here through War. I know they've got an extra tackle in this set as well. It's not a bad little pickup directly after the tap. So there is the signal from the referee. Now they've got 6 to go once again.
That's a good run.
So it'll be tackle number 1 here on halfway. That's Lindsay, who's got some good meterage. Once again, McMurrich waving the arms wildly. They're getting a nice little roll on in this set. They'll be caught 40 metres out here. Tackle number 3, McMurrich bringing it away to Toby Lay, who's just come onto the field. He barges over the top of a couple of them. That's what they need. A few more big boppers. That's a sloppy play the ball once again. It's been 3 consecutive sets now from Hong Kong with poor play the balls, just completely stopping things. Hello, Paul. Hello, everyone at home watching via the YouTube channel, Bar TV Sports.
And the unfortunate thing there was that the first 3 plays of that set, they all found their knees, they all found their elbows, they were up, they played the ball quickly, and he did there too, Toby Lay, but unfortunately he just couldn't execute the play the ball itself. They were really on a roll there.
It's been simple errors. When they've had the ball, they haven't looked too bad, Dave. It's just they seem to keep giving the ball away over very, very silly things. It's just ball security, play the balls, things like that.
Well, you've got to hold on to the ball. That's the most one of the most crucial things to do in a game of rugby league. Got to maintain possession.
Coming in for a good shot, putting on Angie Kumoa. He's already got 1 try, and he's a likely looking customer. It's the winger coming in for a bit of work, Stephen Momoa. So 2 try scorers taking 2 hit-ups in a row. Ramo, 1 hit dummy half. Geez, that looked forward for mine.
It did.
And it went to Jefferson Scott, the number 16. That's his first touch of the ball. Came on about 5 minutes ago. Toby Lay put him to ground. Ramo, out the back. Bringing away the 5/8, and they'll link up half to half here. There's a bit of space too. Nice little floating pass over the top. Moa Owie, he'll cut back on the inside. Same half put him to ground. He gets up to go again, and it's McMurrich who comes over the top. Jeez, he's an aggressive customer. Steps up to a man as well, and he's picked him up again. We probably don't need that from McMurrich, but geez, he's a feisty bloke, isn't he?
He is, and no, we don't need that. I don't really know what he was trying to achieve there. He's clearly injured, the winger. Moa Awi, I think it is.
And I think you would certainly know that. I mean, it was a great shot he put on initially and then slammed him to ground too. But once you've done the slam, which I think was still legal in fairness to McMurrich.
Yeah, no problem
but
with that.
he looked injured. You just leave him.
Yeah. And clearly he is. He's still down. A couple of trainers with him at the moment, and not exactly sure what the problem is. They're looking at the upper half of the body, maybe around the shoulder or the neck.
There's not too much time left in this half either. Just above 5 minutes left in the first half. The score is still 14 points to nil. Solomon Islands leading Hong Kong. James Preston with you in commentary alongside Dave Wall for Bar TV Sports. Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. That's good to see. He's back up now. Eddie Moa Owie.
Yeah, he's on his feet. He's had a good game thus far. There was a good run there too. Cut back on the inside. Well, they have ruled a penalty. Crusher tackle, looks like.
I've got to be honest with you, David. I don't think that warranted a penalty. I thought, yes, it was quite excessive, but it wasn't outside of the laws of the game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I didn't see a problem with it.
Well, tap and go here anyway. Solomon Islands, and they'll give it away to this very, very big second rower, Sewa Matangi. He has caused all sorts of problems on this occasion, though. There's the commentator's curse. He's been put into touch.
Well, yeah, he just chose to run that line towards the touch line and tackle one. It's a really dumb play.
They're in good field position too, taking that tap from 30 metres out. Although at the moment, well, there they go. Solomon Islands have finally handed the ball back to Gus Spence, the halfback for Hong Kong. As we approach the final couple of minutes in this half, just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half here. Live from the Ponds, brand new stadium. One of the first events that has been held here. We're playing on the AstroTurf as well, Dave.
Lovely footy field, and I said in the match before, I've never seen a game.
Oh,
certainly never commentated a game played on this surface. And
well, you typically see it reserved for gridiron or for soccer, but I think you're right, Dave. This is certainly the first time I've ever seen rugby league played on AstroTurf.
Yeah.
And there you go. Tackle number 1 or potentially tackle number 2, but early in the set, both these sides deciding to run into touch.
Well, you're a bit, actually you're a lot younger than me, so you won't remember the synthetic turf when it first came out, but it was grass burn material. You wouldn't want to hit the deck at any point, but I've noticed today it's a really soft, really appropriate type surface to play rugby league on.
Now, was this old AstroTurf kind of like the indoor cricket fields and the
Yes,
futsal fields? Well, that is literally not just skin burn material, that's heartburn material, because once you get a bit of a cut on there, it really, really hurts, doesn't it?
And it never goes away. I used to play games back in the early 20s, my early 20s, I should say.
I thought you were going to say 1920s. How old are you, Dave?
Well, I'm not going that bad, but feel it sometimes, but yeah, I'd come off the field and didn't have any skin left at all.
Walking around like Robbie Williams in that I Don't Want to Rock DJ song. He's just stripping off the skin.
I don't think I look anything like Robbie Williams, even with no skin.
I'm sure you got a heavenly voice nonetheless. Here is the Solomon Islands with the ball now. Now bring it away. Back toward the centre of the field before stepping off the right and heading back toward the touchline. They don't want that. Jefferson Scott is caught around about 3 or 4 metres in from that left-hand side of the field. Ramo back toward the middle. Here's Rex Horoi. Both the second rows have been good, but on that occasion, Hong Kong muscling up and pushing him back. That's better to see.
Yeah, that's good contact.
Lindsay was in there, along with, of course, McMurridge. That's a poor pass out of dummy half, but it bounces up quite nicely on this good surface. Lay was beaten in the tackle, but they'll keep going here. Caught 30 metres away. Number 5, Mo Owie, he's calling for it on this right-hand side. He wants a kick. We'll see if Sanger applies one. Instead, he decides to take them on. And he's caught now. That'll be the last tackle, just short of the 20-metre line. Can they put on some more points just before half-time, the Solomon Islands? It's a slow play the ball from Sanger. They'll come back. I'm not exactly sure what kind of pass that was, but it's a decent kick put away in the end. Sane came across in cover and did pretty well. And he'll be caught. In fact, he stripped it. And I think that might be a legal strip too. The referee is looking to point to the spot. He does exactly that. 6 again, and there is a try coming out of absolutely nowhere, Dave.
Well, that was unfortunate. He took that. He took the kick. He returned it. It looked from here as though he actually took it in touch, but obviously not.
Well, there is saying just grabbing the ball.
Actually, the replay suggests the kick took it in touch as well. But
one-on-one strip, and then over he went. Just trying to have a look. I think it's the fullback, is it? Might well be fullback that's taking this. We're just having a look at the replay here for Bar TV Sports. Some massive bodies, and I think it is. So it's Singamona. He's got the one-on-one strip, a heads-up play, and he picks up 4 points for it.
Well, that makes it 18-0. Kick to come from almost in front. You'd expect that to be 20, and that would just about be a stroke of half-time now.
According to our time as well, Dave, the clock has finished up.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult for Hong Kong, albeit playing with this swirling, but I think the majority of the wind in the second half seems to be swirling more from the north than the south.
We've also had an injury here to one of the Hong Kong players who's just been carted off in front of us. A lot of strapping already on the shoulder and looking in a fair bit of discomfort too as well, Dave.
Yeah, he's holding his elbow there. I'm not sure whether he's supporting his elbow or his shoulder, but
and the kick is successful from Tau Pongi. So that makes it 20 points to nil. That is his second successful conversion from 4 attempts. Can't be much more time left in this one. According to our clock, the time is up for the first half. Of course, it is not the official timekeeping that we do have, but we don't have a scoreboard present at this ground, despite the fact that it's a ridiculously brilliant stadium. And there it is. It is in the background there as the siren. So that will do us for the first half here. The Solomon Islands leading Hong Kong 20 points to nil. Dave, a quick takeaway just before we go to a break.
Yeah, well, a difficult half for Hong Kong. They had their moments, but just weren't able to put them away and made way too many errors. In decent field position, Solomon Islands were able to take advantage of it, and that last one, 14-0 to 20-0, it really blows the scoreline out. It's going to be difficult for them in the second half. Yeah,
not a great way to finish the half for Hong Kong, but still all to play for in the second 40-minute stanza here. The score is 20 points to nil. Solomon Islands in front of Hong Kong. We'll be back in just a moment's time.
One of
So welcome back to the ponds here at Kellyville Ridge. Or the ponds either way, we're pretty much on the corner of the two districts. James Preston back with you in commentary here for the Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship, this match between the Solomon Islands and of course Hong Kong. And joining me now is a very special guest. He is a prop from the Mediterranean side. His name is Jad Mahmood. Jad, how are you doing?
Yeah, good mate, how are you?
Very good, very good. Now, it's an awesome tournament so far. Of course, it's going to keep them going for about another week or so. What do you hope to get out of the tournament yourself?
Oh, mate, it's a great environment here. We're playing on the, first to ever play on this synthetic field out here in Blacktown Council. Mate, it's just pretty much, getting a feel for other nations, trying to emerge, going through to the World Cup. So far, it looks like a pretty decent competition.
Yeah, the standard has been very, very high. What's your background in terms of rugby league? Are you a local player from this region?
So I grew up in Western Sydney. I'm Parramatta Eels Junior. I played my 20s there. Last year I moved up to Far North Queensland for the Northern Pride. So, I've gotten to that level with Q Cup, and, I've also played representative. But I'm a Western Sydney Wentworthville Magpies Junior.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, mate. Now, of course, your side is featuring in this tournament as well. What do you hope to achieve as a team in it? Is it more about pushing the boundaries for the game back in the Mediterranean, or is it, you want to get the win for the tournament itself?
Mate, I think it's a bit of both. It's pushing the boundaries would be a good thing. It's a lot of cultures coming together. The boys, they've come together. We've had team dinner. Everyone's mixed in well. We're hoping to mark our place in this tournament. Hopefully, the game that we play, we show the talent that we have in the squad.
Wonderful stuff. Well, I hope you do exactly that, Jad. Thank you so much for joining me.
No worries. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Jad. And we'll come back live here with the action between Hong Kong and the Solomon Islands. Dave Wall alongside me in commentary as our expert analysis for the day. And Dave, welcome back for the second half.
Yeah, I don't know about the expert, but the resumption of play in the second half has seen exactly the same result as the first. Hong Kong unfortunately couldn't complete their set. Richard Lindsay on that occasion, who's been pretty strong in both games thus far, unfortunately put that ball down and to play the ball. I reckon that's half a dozen times they've played the ball incorrectly today, Hong Kong, which is really unfortunate. You get through the tackle, which is the hardest part, and then you drop it at the play the ball.
It's such a simple thing that you learn in under sixes as well, but apparently it's just gone out the window today. We didn't see any of it during the week earlier either. It just seems to have come out for whatever reason. Maybe it's the AstroTurf.
Well, it could be. I'm not sure what that effect would have on it, but
probably not. But I can postulate anyway. Here are the Solomon Islands coming away with the ball now, left-hand side of the field. I've completely lost my book. I've now found it once again. So we're back in action here. Here is Sanger running away from them, stepping back off the right foot, breaking out of a couple of soft tackles too. He's got support. We'll link up with that big centre once again. It should be a free passage to the line. Wall was just stood up. He's not looking too happy about it either. Yeah, far too easy in from Angie Kamau.
That shoulder's probably giving Moore a bit of grief, and probably didn't really see.
It's the worst possible way to start this second half, Dave. Of course, got that very late try right at the end of the first half to make it 20-0, and now within the space of 1 minute it's gone out to 24-0.
Well, that's the thing, within 2 minutes it's effectively 12 points, and well, not effectively, it is 12 points, and it's very hard to come back from that. It's just we see it at NRL level, we see it at every level. Those 4 or 5 minutes prior to half time and 4 or 5 minutes after are so crucial, and we see so many tries. I don't know what it is, but it's just so consistent. Tries are scored in that zone.
Moe, he's going to line up the conversion attempt for this one. He's about 15 metres in from the left-hand touchline, exactly on top of the 20-metre mark. It's all too simple. They love a retreating defensive line, this Solomon Islands team, because they've got a bunch of players that can run very quickly and just do a snap kind of pace off the mark. Here he is, lining it up, trying to take the score out to 26 points to nil. Hong Kong, they've got to be doing a lot better than that if they want to keep in touch in this match. That one goes across the face of goal, so the score will remain 24 points to nil. Hong Kong in the blue and red if you're just joining us. Started reasonably well. Had a good bit of running in the first 10 minutes, but ever since then it's pretty much been Solomon Islands with some one-way traffic. Of course, Solomon Islands, they are wearing your multicoloured blue, green and yellow strip if you're just joining us. Bar TV Sports' coverage of the Emerging Nations Rugby League World Championship. James Preston with you in commentary alongside Dave Wall from the Country Rugby League. It'll be Matt Water get us back underway here at the Ponds. It's a brand new stadium, AstroTurf, and doesn't look spectacular. He'll kick this one off. Fielded pretty easily in the end by the Solomon Islands. Here's Sal Matangi winding up and going over the top of them. He bumps off a couple more. I can tell you now there's one player who won't like that, and he's in there, McMurrich. We've seen just how feisty he can be. He's cautioned in the first half for, in all fairness, what appeared to be a legal tackle, albeit a very, very violent one. Referee whistle to the mouth, and he says that is a knock on.
Well, that'll help him. I didn't quite see that pop out, but I think that's player number 36 for Hong Kong who's come away with it. That's Gareth James, but I'm not quite sure what happened there, but the referee said knock on. Good opportunity now for Hong Kong to try and consolidate themselves back into this second half.
Hopefully we'll see them use the foot properly and play the ball, and they can get through a full set of 6. It has been a little while because it just seems to keep coming undone for them in the play the ball itself. They'll win this scrum, bring it away, lung a hospital pass to Lindsay. I'm sure he would have been breathing pretty hard from that pass from Lung.
Well,
pun intended.
He's run the ball with some gusto, Lindsay, but you don't give him... Oh, I think he's dropped that too.
They've done it yet again, and I'll tell you what, Matt Waugh is exactly right to just bat that ball away in disgust. It can't be that hard, Dave. All it is to play the ball. It's nothing else is going wrong.
I just don't know what the issue is. And again, he gets through the difficult part. He was smashed in that tackle, held onto the ball, and then just can't complete the play the ball. It's bizarre.
Well, it's twice now as well in this half for Lindsay.
Yeah, that's true. And I think he did it once in the first as well.
Very unusual. He's one of their better players, and see him having a bit of a yell toward one of his teammates too. So you don't want them turning on each other either, but very silly errors like that. You're going to get frustrations running pretty high. Here is the Solomon Islands. Middle of the field, 40 metres out. Another fresh man on. That's Kengalu, the number 14. There's a good tackle over the top, but he still finds a way to get to his chest, which should ensure a reasonably quick play the ball from Scott. Ramo, slow delivery out of dummy half. There's Sango. Now we're seeing a right to left pass, but it hasn't gone very well for him on that occasion. So that's pretty much the first one he's thrown. Not his fault, but it does result in an error, Dave.
Yeah, it does, and there was nothing wrong with the pass. It was right where you'd want it, but the conditions maybe the ball's a little bit slippery than what we think up here. I don't know. It's easy to judge from the commentary box, but the commentary milk crate.
Commentary milk crate, very literally. We just need to get a bit of time in possession here, Dave, and just get through a set. They can just start to recalibrate things a little bit. Here's Spence working away to War. Good fend off on Ramo, and that's a nice fend to the face as well of the freshman on the field. Kengalu picks up 15 metres. They'll wrestle him to ground eventually, but he's pretty close to that halfway line. McMurrich, he's a willing customer, and he gets them into enemy territory. Lung has shifted into the hooking role for now. Murrich potentially coming out into the lock forward position, and I'll tell you what, even if there was an opportunity, it's probably not the time to take it. You've just got to get through a set at this point in time.
Look, I think you're probably right, but that said, I think that pass was on. The winger had some space. He looked like he had room in front of him, but the pass was just a half a yard in front of him. He couldn't take it, and unfortunately, that's another set that they've failed to complete.
They'll just keep putting the pressure back on themselves with silly errors like that. At least on this occasion, it wasn't through an act of the play the ball. Sunga coming away. There's a lot of space here now, and they can find a gap straight away. Plenty of pace behind him. War is chasing, but he won't have it, and that is very, very sassy of him as well. Pumping the chest as he found the try line. Showed good pace, Singamona. That's his second try for the day. It was all too easy, really. They just spread the ball wide, found half a gap. Once again, it was the deception of Sanger, feigning the run and then firing a nice long pass.
Well, it was a beautiful pass. And Singamoana came in, chimed in at the back and found what was a pretty big hole, sliced straight through it. Or gave a brave chase, but he was never going to catch him once he got through. And you're right, it was a little ambitious, pumping the chest, probably 20 metres out, but he made it.
I'll tell you what, I actually thought he was going to be caught at the time because War was only about 2 metres away, and the moment you stop going on your actual stride of your run, you do lose a bit of pace. So I was concerned for him.
Yeah, well, if he got caught, he probably deserved it, to be honest. But
Sweet karma, Dave.
Well, he got there in the end. But as a coach, I was never big on encouraging players to celebrate pre-try. Actually, never too keen on
the post-try celebration.
Post-try either, but...
So no Brian Fletcher throwing the grenade into a bunch of Queenslanders?
No, definitely not.
No Josh Adokar face mask?
Well, we've now seen the result of the Brian Fletcher grenade, and the Queenslanders have quite openly said it, that was their motivation for rolling New South Wales the best part of 11 seasons in a row. So we'll see how that goes.
Third kicker here. This occasion will be the halfback Sanger. Struck it reasonably well, but drifted across to the left-hand side, the uprights. So the score will remain the same here. We are, of course, live from the ponds here, right near Kellyville Ridge at this brand new stadium, AstroTurf. Looks fantastic out there. I love how thick, red and juicy that 40-metre line is, Dave. I've never seen one like that.
I got out of my car not knowing this was synthetic and looked across the field and was amazed at just how good it looked. And yeah, the red line is almost fluorescent. I'm not sure whether it's really conveyed on the screens, but it's very, very bright.
Just having a look at Seo Matangi's boots as well. It's pretty much the same colour as those. Very, very bright.
Yeah.
Now kick it off here, aiming for the sideline. That just offers an opportunity for Moeaui to go along the sideline, potentially find a bit of space, but it was a good shot and they forced an error. And now there's another error from Hong Kong, but no advantage, you would have to think, so they should get the ball back.
Yeah, that's the way the referees rule. Their scrum.
So the wind and the rain picks up again here as well, Dave.
Yeah, it's not the... Oh, it's a beautiful ground, but can't help the weather, of course. It's unfortunate for the players that have come from all over the world to be here. Be playing in conditions where it probably hasn't rained for 6 months.
Well, hopefully we do see for the finals next week some nice dry track and we can see some pretty enterprising footy. We have still seen it though. Both sides have certainly been willing to throw the ball around. We even saw that 20-metre flick pass from Sanger early in the first half. And here is Lindsay running out of dummy half now.
Matches generally, you see a penalty go to Hong Kong. Norwich will want his hands on the ball now, and he's got it.
I do find this quite ironic. McMurray, of all players, is stressing calm amongst these players.
Yeah, there is some irony there.
They'll tap and go here through Toby Lay. And he's caught 10 metres short of the try line, so they're in a really good position here, Hong Kong. Bit of time to spend up this end of the field. Here's Gareth James. Caught 7 or 8 metres short of the line. McMurray will keep pressing down the short side. Lindsay for the corner. He may well have got there too.
I think it's a penalty.
He's not looking too good on the ground either, Richard Lindsay.
Referee's blown a penalty. I'm not quite sure what for, but they are.
Can only assume for not retreating the 10. Lindsay's taken just a little bit of time to get back to his feet.
Probably the most difficult part of the ground to see from the commentary area.
Well, we've got a bumper crowd here as well. There's probably, I would say, Dave, probably around about 200 people watching this.
Well,
it is chock-a-block.
It's been consistent all day too. Every game. This is the third of 6. We've certainly got a good crowd here at the moment.
See, we do want the good crowd here. We certainly want you to be watching at home as well, but we do like people coming out to see it. The only problem I've got with this is that we can't see a damn thing in the corner, Dave. We can't see anything in that right-hand corner of the field combined with the poles. Nonetheless, McMurray will tap and go. Freshman on the field, Lee Griffiths. He's had a bit of a stint in the first half and then quite a long time on the bench, but he's back out there now. Toby Lay, that's a good little offload. They'll keep going. Stepping back off the left, nearly finding a gap. Just held short. The Solomon Islands converged upon him pretty well and stopped him. And that looks to be, we're going to say he's held up in the end, I think.
They probably didn't need that. They've got to take the ball out, give Solomon Islands a chance to regroup. They had some numbers there. What chance McMurray going from dummy half over the next 2 or 3 plays?
Well, here is McMurray. He gives it away to Toby Lay. Big bopper winding up, looking for an offload yet again. He's been good at getting them away, but on that occasion they've lost plenty of ground. Here's Ringo Lung. Lung trying to get out of a few tackles. More support. Oh, geez, that's a dangerous position, surely. The referee does award penalty quite rightfully. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, no need for it. They'd push them back about 25 metres in the tackle, single tackle. Didn't need to give it away, but in any case, Hong Kong get another opportunity. McMurray with the ball.
He taps it. Away they go now. Comes to Ben Ryan. He pushes forward, and once again, plenty of numbers in the tackle from the Solomon Islands. They push him back. Spence has been very quiet to start this second half. You just wonder how long will it be before he gets involved. One defender shrugged off, and they went again and nearly got there. It was the number 11 in the end, Alex Schvetz. And I'll have a little dive over from McMurray. I think he's dropped it, though. In fact, a couple of head pats. Have they awarded it?
No, I think...
it looked like he dropped it for mine.
Yeah, it looked as though he put his hand up in apology, which he seems to do on occasion.
Quite a weird reaction, really, from the rest of the Hong Kong players, all coming over to congratulate him for a knock-on.
Yeah, well...
I suppose anything is close enough at this point in time, isn't it?
Well, I was just looking at the replay, and he was close.
So he couldn't be... Jeez. Well, I mean, he ends up over the line. It just gets knocked out in the act of trying to put the ball down as the wind really picks up now. Rain fizzling across the ground. Sangha got away from one. A couple more defenders come and put him to ground.
And this is good from Hong Kong.
It's good pressure in defence. They're trying to contain them down this end of the field and just get a bit of time in possession in the danger zone. More numbers in the tackle. That's good stuff. McMurray, one of the defenders. Toby Lay in there as well. Ben Ryan. So you don't want to run into the two props, but that is exactly what happened. They'll try and isolate Lindsay and Schvetz, but Schvetz does well and hangs on. Puts him to ground. Tangora. A dummy half.
Oh, nice.
That is a great shot too, and that'll be the last. It's a really good defensive set from Hong Kong. Spencer's dropped back on the wing. Might just be trying to hide him in defence. That's a nice little grubber put through, but it's well fielded from Sang, but then he drops the sitter and kicked it again. All of a sudden it's play on for Solomon Islands, but there's another drop. That could have been anything in the end, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know what Spencer's thinking. That is not play on, young Spence.
I'm not even sure how to describe that little bit of play. That was a terrible kick. That was a terrible attempt to pick it up. That was a terrible attempt to pick it up after that.
The funny thing was as well, that the most difficult part of all that was the initial grab from the winger, and he nailed it. It was just running away with the ball, he then dropped it.
And that's a fair point. I guess I was overly critical of him because the pickup itself was good. He just dropped it for no reason after that.
Just remind me of a certain semi-final that Darren Lockyer was playing in. That looked
sure.
forward, and the referee does get that one. But Lockyer was running along, trying to do a little cutout pass, hits his thigh, falls directly in front of him, and everybody is very confused as to whether it's a knock-on or not, because it's come off his own leg. Was it a kick? Was it play on?
I must say I don't remember that particular piece of play.
I'm sure Lockyer tries not to remember it either, though. Hong Kong will get the scrum feed here just short of the halfway line. Spence has been very quiet to start the second half, despite being quite involved in the first. Feeds it. McMurray offers it away to Ward. Ward tries to get out of one tackle, does so. Finds a bit of a gap back on the inside, but it closed quickly. Good fend off as well. There's a good shot. Well, that's what happens. If you've got to fend off a couple of players, you'll get an angry one that will try to finish the job.
Well, he ended up going across field, and he was cannon fodder really at that point. But he's trying hard, Ward.
Certainly is. He's arguably the most dangerous player. That's a good shot too. It's nearly high, but Toby Lay kept it just around the shoulders. Comes short side once again. This man has caused all sorts of problems today. Angie Kamua. It's McMurray and Toby Lay in the end that put him to ground. They're sticking with him at the moment, Hong Kong. They've stopped the bleeding for now. Sangha puts it in the air, swirling around. That's going to be hard to take. Bounces once. That looked to be a knock-on for mine from the Solomon Islands.
Yeah, I think that's why he's ruled.
The referee will rule exactly that, with about 15 hand gestures for the same thing. And it all means the same result. Hong Kong will get the ball. That's the right play, though, as well, isn't it, Dave? Put it up in the air. You've got that wind going absolutely crazy out here, and anything could happen.
Well, we saw it in the game before that every time it went up, it was. I don't think it was clean. There was a clean catch once, so it's really a free chance. Giving yourself at least probably a 50-50 opportunity to get the ball back. On that occasion, it didn't come off, but it certainly could have.
Here is War getting out of about 3 tackles. He's got a really good fend on him, War, and that's a big push after the play the ball. That could have easily been a penalty. Would have gone against Angie Katana. The referee says play on. In fact, now he's going to rule a penalty. I'll tell you what, I think there was less indiscretions in that play the ball than the previous one.
Well, due to the pole in front of me, I couldn't see the first one, but that certainly looked a penalty that time. That was a flop.
Here's McMurrich taking a quick tap and running. Free abandon here. He picks up about 20 metres. Works it into a good position too. Slow play the ball though from McMurrich. Hanging a leg out too as he stands up. Giving it away to Griffiths now. That's a nice straight charge. Good meterage gain. War sweeping around out the back. They don't go to him. They'll use Ben Ryan instead. They bumped off one defender. There was Anga Katani. Got an offload away. They'll keep going here. McMurrich, waiting at dummy half. Good little ball away. Toby Lay, well, he had support on his outside, but he couldn't find it. I haven't actually seen young Toby Lay put in a pass yet. McMurrich, way to Spence. Spence had Sunga rush up on him quickly. He got the ball away, though. Here's Ryan getting it off once again. Can he keep going? It'll be 6 again, the referee ruling in the background. That's a nice offload to Griffiths. Griffiths can find a bit of space to wind up, and he gets there. Well done to Hong Kong. The cheers ring out. They had them backpedaling on the back foot, and there's the big prop in the end, Lee Griffiths, who gets across the line.
Yeah, well done. They got a repeat set during the course of that tackle, and Solomon Islands just couldn't regroup. We've got the Hong Kong support base right in front of us, and as you say, there was a loud cheer. And Griffiths went over, and good luck to them. First points of the game. Should make it 6.
I have Lindsay to attempt the conversion here. From a pretty easy position, just to the right-hand side of the uprights. And just as he lines this up, we'll get a quick time check as well from our... That's a very interesting attempt there. I have never seen a kicking... I don't even know how to describe that. Kicking style like that.
He didn't muck around, and he nearly missed it.
It was almost as if he was a hockey player just trying to shift it on with a stick.
I was like I'm not sure what you call
Or an
it.
instep pass from a soccer player. It was just bizarre. Nonetheless, it went over from Richard Lindsay, so good luck to him, whatever works.
I don't know whether he's too confident if he's kicking from touch, but anyway, we haven't seen that yet.
No, potentially that's exactly why we haven't seen a kick for touch. We see McMurrich continuing to tap and go. They've got 6 points on the board now, though, Hong Kong. And we have 19 minutes left in this second half here. Solomon Islands to get us back underway. Hong Kong getting themselves on the board, which is always good to see as well. One hanging up in the breeze just for a moment. Spence gets underneath it. There is the try scorer, Griffiths. He charges back at them and makes another break. We'll just keep finding this man. He's doing all sorts of good stuff at the moment. McMurrich wanting a penalty. They're suggesting that Griffiths is holding the jumper. I'm not so sure. Seemed like he just didn't want to get off. Here's Ryan, a dummy. And then you can see some of that fake dirt flicking up from the AstroTurf. McMurrich out of dummy half. He's got Lay with him. Lay keeps going. This is great stuff from Hong Kong. They've got a real roll on at the moment. Look to be a second effort in the tackle. Spence away, just behind Griffiths, but did well to pull it back in. Good tackle in the end, up underneath the rib cage. We've still got a couple more in this set. McMurrich once again waving the arms. It is a slow play the ball in all fairness. And he gives it away to Spence, who's come back into the match. War shifting across sideways. They needed someone to straighten up. He gets an offload away though. Spence gives it away here to Ari Rogers. Rogers is caught. That'll be the last tackle. 35 out. This is better stuff from Hong Kong.
Where's this footy been?
They play the ball. They had Lindsay storming through. They didn't give it to him though. That looks to be a knock on. They should get the ball back here. So good stuff from Hong Kong, Dave. As you mentioned, where has this footy been? This is much more open style of play with support runners all over the place.
Well, it all started from a terrific run off the kick from Lindsay or Griffith, sorry, and they just kept going. They kept the roll going. The kick there at the end from McMurrich, I think it was, but he got a result from it, so they get it back.
Good field position as well, so they can potentially go back to back with their tries. Probably not enough time to stage a fully fledged comeback. There's around about 15 minutes left in this match. If they can get another try on the board, they'd be pretty happy with that. Here's McMurrich getting it from the scrum win. Finding War, who keeps pushing and takes a couple of them over the line. I think he might have actually got it down. He has indeed. It's a great little one from Matthew Waugh. McMurray, pretty simple stuff. Got the scrum win. Had Waugh in support. Used his big body to get over the line.
Well, they deserve that. And again, it's probably a carbon copy of Thursday's game where they never gave up right up until the final whistle. And they've got themselves a couple of tries here, and we're going to see an odd little kick here again, I think.
I just saw him line it up there with his foot. He's turned it completely on the inside. I've got to say, he has the ugliest kicking style I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I feel you could put a donkey out there and just get him to start kicking his hooves back, and even that would look better.
Yeah, that's unusual. Like I said, you wouldn't want to be kicking it from too far away from right in front. Anyway, 2 from 2.
Exactly the point. He is still 2 from 2. So Hong Kong move up to 12 now. They're just closing the margin a little bit here. If they're good enough, there might just be enough time, but they will have to score several tries. The last 10 to 15 minutes has all been Hong Kong, Dave.
It has, and they look very tired, Solomon Islands. They've had no possession for the last probably 7 or 8 minutes, and it's showing. Very slow to halfway to kick off. I wouldn't want to concede here in the next couple of minutes because there is enough time.
Sitting around 15 minutes left, and that's a much better kick-off. Going nice and deep. Well taken. It's probably not the man you want to kick it to. He's on fire at the moment, and there you go, commentator's curse. I've just given him a huge rap, and he's dropped it at a crucial moment, Griffiths.
Yeah, that's a shame. He's had a good few minutes, but anyway, just wasn't able to hold on to that one. It was good contact from Solomon Islands.
Yeah, it's a good shot right around the rib cage.
And it was a really good kick-off too. Landed in the in goal. He had to take the ball as opposed to his halfback taking it and then him running off it. So another few yards that he lost. Just wasn't able to hold on to it at a crucial juncture of the second half.
Well, as much as anything, it's the time that this will take, simply having to defend this set against the Solomon Islands. It's time out of their hands in terms of having the footy. Obviously they can't concede, but you've only got about 13 or 14 minutes left in this one, and you're trailing by 16 points. You need all the time in the world that you can get. Here is the Solomon Islands pushing it back toward the middle. Great contact from McMurray around the leg. Stopped him dead in his tracks. Midway through the tackle count now. Toby Lay taking plenty of time to get back on side. McMurray testing the patience once again. Well, that should have been a push and a penalty to the Hong Kong side, and it is.
Yeah, good decision.
They've done a bit of that in this second half, the Solomon Islands. Just getting frustrated, I think, Dave.
Well, the play the balls are very slow, but they're slow on both ends of the spectrum, so they can't really complain about that, and I think it's probably advantage them, to be perfectly honest, in the later stages of this game, because they haven't had a lot of balls, so I don't think they've really got any right to be frustrated.
Referee just calling out a player as well. Have a chat. The number 8 here. This is Jimmy Maibata. Ten Gamora is the captain, also coming out there. Now we have time back on. As we mentioned, if they are good enough, there is just enough time still left in it. They would pretty much have to score this set though, Dave.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it does leave the door ajar.
I'm still very confused about the lack of kicking for touch.
No, I'm not sure what's going on, to be perfectly honest.
We've seen Spence can kick. We know McMurray can kick. Lindsay has a very strange kicking style, but he can potentially kick. It's not as if they don't have options. And here is Lindsay being caught on the 30-metre line. McMurray takes a dart short side and tries to go over the top of them.
Oh.
They'll pick him up. That seemed to be fine, though. Didn't go above the horizontal. Bit of his own medicine to McMurray. Here's Toby Lay, the forwards confining. Off to Griffiths now, who's already got to try himself. 5 metres short of the halfway line. McMurray away to Spence. I don't think that was actually a drop ball, in all honesty.
Neither do I. I thought that's okay. Play on. If it's not play on, it's a penalty for mine. To Hong Kong.
And they've sent someone for 10. Well, who's he sent?
I think it's Waugh. Fairly sure it was Waugh, although he is walking back to his position. No, it's not.
They've given a second option. So Griffiths hasn't. What a bipolar little 15-minute stint this has been for Griffiths. We had a try from him, a line break, and then his last 2 involvements have been a knock-on, followed by another knock-on, sin binning, and a penalty.
Yeah, well, he's certainly got full end of the spectrum there. He's achieved everything in the game in about 5 minutes.
Except for a nudie run. I mean, he can't have that anymore, though, because he's already got the try.
Well, he can. He just doesn't have to.
Well, I don't think you want to see it anyway, though, do you, Dave?
Probably
not. I'll have a tap and go here, the Solomon Islands. That's a nice little hit up from Scott. McMurrich, it's not one man that you want to run into. Lindsay, a second effort. Looked to potentially be a knee in there as well. He's lucky to get away with that. I'll pass it away. Good shot over the top. Ryan McMurrich coming in. He wants him. They'll drive him back rugby union style. Scrumming it in, pushing them backwards here. Tengamora from dummy half. Away to Sunga. Sunga decides to take them on with the right foot. Good tackle around the legs, though, from Schvetz. That was messy as can be. And they didn't clear away from the play the ball. They went straight back through the middle.
Yeah, well, that's probably it for Hong Kong, I would have thought. They had that little burst and scored a couple of tries and just a couple of errors. They've gifted Solomon Islands possession in good field position, and I suspect that they'll make the most of this fairly shortly.
Here's Darwin Tongaka coming forward. He's caught 15 metres out, in fact. Tengamora out of dummy half. That's a nice strong charge in the end from Moisten. In fact, Jimmy Maibata just short of the line in the end. He really got up a head of steam for that one. They're spread nicely to the left-hand side, but they'll go short side on the right and find a gap too. Too easy in the end. They just isolated them. Put their big second rower charging through in the red boots. He's had a great game. Daniel Soa Matangi. That'll be another try, and that'll do it here, Dave.
Yeah, nothing short of what they deserve too. They've certainly been the better side over the course of the game. Probably a little tardy over the last 15 or 20 minutes, which has opened the door for Hong Kong. They managed to get a couple of tries, but yeah, that's put them out of reach now. I think 32-12.
Yeah, 20-point margin. Kick to come still. 32 points to 12. Not much time left in the game either. Inside the final 10. He'll have this kick here from pretty much on the 30-metre line. And 9 minutes to play in this one. James Preston with you here in commentary for Bar TV Sports alongside Dave Weil from the Country Rugby League. Seen a very good match so far, and it's certainly been a very entertaining second half. Hong Kong getting themselves back into things.
Well, it's been an entertaining game and followed on from an entertaining game before it too. Two sides, four sides, if you consider the game before them, that are prepared to chance their hand. It doesn't always come off, particularly when it's wet and windy, but it's great footy to watch. There's some really good players, really good talent.
I think a couple of NRL clubs would potentially be looking at Soa Matangi based on what we've seen today. He's got a great build as Sunga gets a kick away. Not a bad effort, but just across the left-hand side of the uprights. But a big build, strong frame, and he does run very hard, Dave.
Well, he does, and look, I'd be gobsmacked if each and every NRL club hasn't been keeping a fairly close eye on this tournament. There'll be some players here that will get picked up. By whom, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure it'll happen.
We had a chat before as well with Jad Mahmood. Of course, he's already played at Queensland Cup level, so there are a bunch of players here with NRL experience, Queensland Cup experience, New South Wales Cup experience, Ron Massey Cup, so it's not as if we're just seeing players purely from other nations with their own domestic leagues. There are some players that have done some great things here in Australia. That's a really smart kickoff from War. McMurrich was ready for it. It's one thing you can say about McMurrich is that he's the ultimate competitor.
He certainly is. He's a try, and well, look, again, I made the comment a few moments ago. Hong Kong haven't stopped. They haven't stopped trying. Probably just a little lacking in a couple of key areas, and his speed's one of them. But just that organisational. They virtually played without a 5'8" at all today. Played with a halfback alone, and while Spence has been very, very brave, and here he goes again.
Jeez, and they're certainly making sure that he's tackled on that occasion. They had about 3 goes at poor little Spence. Get the ball away here as the pole obstructs the view. It's Ryan with it. That'll be the last tackle. Lung waiting at dummy half. He's typically their 5'8", but he spent most of this second half in the hooking role. That was kicked a million miles an hour from War. I'm not sure if it was a charge down, but for now it is play on. Spence gets back there though well.
Again, yep. Good decision by the referee, and well done by Spence to get back there as well. He probably saved a try there.
I'll have a little run out of dummy half here from Schvetz, who steps off the left foot, keeps going through the middle. Tackle 30 metres out. That's only tackle 1 though, so there is a chance once again here for Hong Kong to post some points. McMurray shows it to left, comes right. Lindsay stepping off the right foot. Nearly went through another 2 defenders. He scored 20 metres out, and none of them were back on side, so the referee will blow another penalty here. McMurray wants to tap and go quickly. Of course, there is no quick tap when it is an offside infringement. He gets it away now, and he'll try and take them on himself. He's picked up and bundled toward touch, but he stays in the field of play. He's caught around about 5 metres in from the right-hand touchline. They'll push it back toward the centre of the field. War, a long pass over the head of Spence. In the end, not a good pass at all. They put it on the toe once again. They've gone kick-happy at the moment, the Solomon Islands. Spence drops it and is crunched with a leg trailing through. They'll say it's still play on. Spence has been left very much worse for wear. There was a stray boot that came through trying to kick the ball, and it collected the little halfback, and he's not feeling too well. He's taken off the headgear. That's probably the last thing I'd be doing at this point in time when I've got boots flying all around my head.
Yeah, well, he's certainly caught one there. Yeah, I think he pegged it right to the side of the head. Just holding that left jaw area.
We'll see if we can get a replay as well of poor Spence copying it in the head. He's not looking too happy either, and he might actually be having an early shower here.
Yeah, well, it might be a HIA. He certainly did cop one, and he's coming from the field, and congratulations to him over the 2 games. There's nothing of him, but he is very, very brave.
Got to say as well, it's quite a poor pass from War, really.
That was terrible.
The intended target was Spence, but it was about 2 metres over his head. And put a heap of... Oh, and there's a bit of a slap as well in the scrum there, but they'll say play on with that too. Sunger brings it wide. Lindsay comes over to finish off the job, along with Ringo Lung. Lindsay is sure that there is some sort of drop ball in there, and the referee will just try and simmer some tensions here. He's asking both sides to go back. Lindsay is very, very aggravated about something at this point in time.
I'm not sure. There's an elbow. Well, that's the indication from the referee.
And it's 10 in the bin as well. Must have been a very sneaky one, because we're in pretty good position here, Dave, and I'm not sure I saw anything. It just seemed like Lindsay blew up over not much. That'll be the end of the afternoon, though, for Singa Moana. He's gone, and yeah, there's just a little bit of a glance there from him. So the referee's got that exactly right. You can see on the replay. And McMurray will tap it, and Lindsay goes. So we're back to 12 on 12 here. Not much time remaining at all. That was a flat ball to Lay. He got it away to Ari Rogers. Works it over the 30-metre line. McMurray once again flailing the arms. Lay was the decoy. Lung out the back. War once again running sideways, but this time he got a bit of space on the outside. Sang got it away. Good offload from him back toward the middle. That's better play from Hong Kong. Passing it around. The rain has stopped and they're going to take advantage of it. Lung starting to organise things in the middle, so he's hopped out of the hooking row for now. McMurray back into the dummy half position. A few plays left in this one. McMurray looking at his options. Finds Ryan, who steps off the right foot. Tries to get rid of a couple of them. Still got the arm free. Can he get an offload away? He's spun around once again and goes again. McMurray comes, gets the offload. He passes it away now. Lay is with the ball. Out to Lung. Lung, quick hands. There's some numbers here. Lindsay for the corner. Steps back in off the right foot. Still going, and they just catch him. I think if he'd passed, they had a real good chance for that corner. This will be the last tackle, though. McMurray putting a little kick through. Lindsay chasing, but it'll beat everyone and go dead. In fact, there may have been a Solomon Islands hand in there to knock it dead.
Yeah, I think that's a goal line dropout. Yeah, he butchered that, Lindsay. All he had to do was pass one more. Winger had folded around the back.
It's been a good way to finish this match, though, from Hong Kong. The last 20, 25 minutes has been good footy from them.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of tries. They probably should have had 1 or 2 more and maybe got themselves back into the game. But you're right. They've certainly worked their way into the game pretty well in this second half.
Sunger takes the dropout. Will carry nearly 40 metres on the full. Toby Lyon, that was very lazy from him trying to trap it with the boot. Wall picks it up. Good contact as well from the 17. That was Angie Katani. Eventually he's put to ground and he's certainly feeling the brunt of that contact. Has been in the wars, Matt War, so quite ironic in that sense.
Yeah, he's done well. he said he walked off 3 days ago. Looked like he wouldn't play for a considerable period of time, so he's done well to just get on the field.
And I think he is actually clutching the wrist there as well, Dave, so could be a recurrence of that same injury.
Could be. Well, just watching the replay, doesn't look to be too much in the tackle.
It seems as if he has been playing injured for the majority of the match. When they've stepped back on the inside, he's made some great cover tackles today in defence, but on some occasions he didn't want to hang out the arm. You're just worried about that shoulder or the wrist potentially getting damaged even more.
Yeah, well, you can understand that, particularly in a game where they've probably been outclassed as well.
Murrich gives it away to Lung. Now Griffiths, who's finished his stint in the sin bin, will get to play out the final couple of minutes, so it's now 13 on 12. Hong Kong with the extra man. McMurrich away, Lung, little dummy on the inside. Toby Lay's found some space and he gets there.
Oh, forward pass.
Jeez, I'm not sure about that at all, Dave.
That looked okay from here too. I'll have to see the replay, but we are a long way away.
It's a good piece of deception from Lung, who's looked good since he's hopped into the playmaking role instead of playing at hooker. I think that's fine, in all honesty.
Well, watching the replay, that looks a try to me. And poor old front rowers, they don't get too many tries. So.
Well, I could have had a double here in terms of front rower scoring tries for Hong Kong's.
Yeah.
Griffiths has already gone over. Toby Lay, he wanted one.
Didn't seem too upset that set when it was disallowed.
Must admit, though, I wasn't watching McMurrich. I'm sure we would have found out exactly how upset the whole team was based on his reaction. Now pack the scrum down once again here. Into the final stages of this match, and of course there are still some great games coming your way. We also have Greece and Vanuatu playing later today. A real special one coming up for you next. Latin Heat taking on the Mediterranean side. I'll be back with you as well at 5 o'clock for Japan v Poland, and Poland are one of the red-hot sides in this competition. Their halfback Harry Sajka has tasted NRL experience. Also the Super League. Win this scrum, the Solomon Islands, and run away with it. War is in there for the tackle, as is Toby Lay, the man who has been denied that try. Solomon Islands found their measure in the second half, the Hong Kong side. That's a good tackle over the top. He's caught just short of the 20-metre line. Ramo decides to kick very early in the set. I've got absolutely no idea why. War. Jeez, that was a bit of a struggle to get it. And he's dropped the ball to finish, and that probably sums it up here for Hong Kong. They've tried hard, but they've just lacked a little bit of finesse, as is evidence there from War dropping that final ball.
Yeah, as you said, I'm not quite sure what the kick was about, but in any case, that's the end of the game. And in reference to what you said a moment ago, Poland on Thursday were very strong. I suspect from what I've seen so far, they're probably the team to beat in the tournament. The referee, I think he's blown full time. Yep, blown full time. That's the end of the game. Well done to the Solomon Islands.
The Solomon Islands will run out victors here in this Pool C group match. 32 points to 12 over Hong Kong. James Preston with you for Bar TV Sports alongside Dave Wall. We'll catch you for the next one myself, Japan v Poland. But stick around because we've got more footy action coming your way on Bar TV.